Bill Henshaw here again, your friendly local constitutional counselor from California. And we're going to discuss some things you can do because, I mean, how many of you out there get hauled into quote unquote court, which you're going to learn is not a judicial court, and that beats them right away. With any made up claims the other side can make, and they bring in these goddamn attorneys in there and they have the state bar bastard, black robe bastards, and they're going to rule in their favor no matter what we do. And that's, by the way, the opposite definition of a judicial court to which we have the right from day one. And you're going to learn all about that. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. And you get in there, except on a very rare occasion, and I mean it's rare, they rule against you, they throw you out, and even worse, we put in our documents and challenge jurisdiction. And my documents, constitutional defense document packets, among other things, I have like a 52-page writ of habeas corpus, non-statutory federal, and 83-page brief on admission of new states. And that's a big key, people, because you're going to learn that we don't have any sovereign independent states left, which were admitted into this union. And I got briefs on a lot of other subjects too. And you can name it: Toronto, Admiralty, jurisdiction. It's all in our favor, and it should be. We have creator endowed inalienable rights. They don't want you to know that. They don't teach you a damn thing in the mandatory public education system. And you have no way to know because even though there's apparently a right to an attorney, the attorneys either don't know, don't care, or they won't present these issues because, among other things, they're unregistered foreign agents of at least the city of London. So we have no way to get our issues in there, and when we do, they get thrown out as specious, frivolous, pro se, sovereign citizen arguments, otherwise known as the original intent of those racist framers, and the Republican form of government of defined and limited powers that they ordained and established, to benefit ourselves and our posterity. Not Chase Bank, not IBM, not Microsoft. The fucking corporations jam it up their ass sideways. So send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. You're going to learn this and a whole lot more besides. And best of all, you can teach your children and your posterity so they can get out from under before they maybe even get seriously involved with this crap. This is what has to change. We have rights, they don't. What in the world is the problem here? And you're going to learn you don't ask a question you can't answer. And you're going to learn the answer is that people don't know how to present issues of rights secured by the Constitution. Today it's all 14th Amendment bullshit. Due process, equal protection. Ain't. See you later. And all that serves of what you're going to learn is it's just solely foreign state, subordinate, corporate, nay, dead birthright citizenship. BS. Has no rights that the de facto National Socialist government is bound to respect. So send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. We're going to talk a lot more about that too. And it's amazing how it's all in our favor when you know what's going on. And the great news, though, is with the Supreme Court just having opened its new term, I think a lot of big changes are going to come here because they know they've been a big part of the problem. I would have liked it if we'd had 3 younger justices on the court already, and we don't have them yet. But that is going to happen. I think Trump needs to do that this term. Don't even think about rolling the dice here, even with a 95% chance of success. If anything weird happens and the Republicans lose the midterm election, quote unquote, next year, now he can't appoint anybody. He needs to get them on. Now we're in control of the court for the next 15 or 20 years. And that's what we need. And now they can have our backs and tell the American people the truth, apologize about that court being complicit, and do the right thing. As you'll learn, we have a right to be in the U.S. Supreme Court. It isn't a government granted privilege. It's not the appellate side of the jurisdiction there. We have a right And these current justices damn well know it. That's what's exciting. So send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, and not only you'll learn this, but you'll be able to teach your children and your posterity. And maybe they can avoid most of this if it doesn't go away properly. They'll know how to deal with it very effectively. And not only that, if they get on juries, they're going to know as a member of a jury, they have the power to rule on the facts and the law. And that's the kiss of death for the de facto national socialist government once that starts to happen. And yes, by the way, I do plead white supremacist arguments, no question about it. But duly noted here is that Justice Thomas, currently on the court in his 33rd year, is in my top 10 justices of the court, for what that may be worth. And not only that, these white supremacist arguments will apply to Asians and Africans, even if they're only inhabitants of territories, let alone inhabitants of states. You have enforceable rights. And that takes care of all these law enforcement thugs, as I just said in an earlier video that you'll be seeing too that I did. So they can't go around and do all this crap, like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and you name it. It's going to stop. Because now if they do that, and they had to make it look good, in the Minnesota case, and the bastard been in jail for 28 years when he should be on death row, like they all should be in the Akron case with Jalen Walker. Death row. That's what stops this nonsense. We have rights, and they have to obey them. They don't like it, get the hell out of the job. Go to work for Macy's or GMC or who knows whatever, or Target. Get one of those jobs. So we want to get it back, and we have a window here we haven't had in 150 years. That's why at age 77, I'm so excited to see this. We can really do this. And you'll learn more about how to do it. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe, like the friends, like the videos, tell your friends, and get the word out. The sooner we take matters into our own hands and invoke our creator endowed and alienable rights, the sooner we make things better. And it's great for all of us. And we get our government back, we have a normal life. I mean, how good is that? So, like I say, subscribe, tell your friends, get the word out, and we will catch up the next time. Thank you.